Okay, everybody. The next part is the very, very time-consuming part. So what I'm going to suggest you do is you play some music in the background, maybe have the Bible on audio version or whatever. Just make it a prayerful exercise, and if you've got some friends, it's a good opportunity to chat and talk. You're going to need a couple things. One, if you would like to, you can use one of these. I don't really know what to call them, pierogi maker thing. I bought mine off of application called Geek, and it works actually really well. I actually haven't had a problem with it at all. And it unhinges, kind of like people sometimes become unhinged, but it does unhinge here if you need to pull it apart for whatever reason. The other thing that might be a good suggestion is to have some water, okay? Now, I want to give you a suggestion, is when you have water on the table with a bunch of flour, it's a good idea to try to do your best to make sure none of that water hits the table, because otherwise it's going to take a long time to clean everything up. If you don't want to use this device, then you should get a fork, because you'll need to pinch the pierogi, okay? So what I've done is I've rolled out the pierogi, and you can see it's a nice kind of yellowish color, which is that third egg yolk really helped with that. It was also a really good batch to roll. It was really simple, and that's because of all the olive oil that was there. So now I'm going to kind of stretch it out a little bit, but you want to be very careful when you're stretching it out to make sure that it fits whatever size you want, that you do not put any holes in it. Once there's a hole in it, all of your stuff is going to come leaking out. You basically have to throw out the pierogi. The other thing is, if you do use this, make sure you dust it with a little bit of flour so that the dough doesn't stick to it. So I'll put that in there, kind of stretch it out to fit the circle size there. Now, this is the first time I've done this, so I have no idea if this is going to work, but I put all of the potato, bacon, and cheese filling into a Ziploc bag. I'm just going to squeeze a little bit in there. The reason why I'm trying to do it this way is because I find it's just a mess to try to use your bare hands with it or a spoon. So this just seems a little bit easier, and it was. So it actually worked pretty nicely. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick my finger in the water, and I'm just going to water the outside half of it, kind of a semicircle there. And what that water does is it acts like glue, so that when you close the pierogi and you shut it down pretty tightly, okay, it is completely sealed, and so nothing will come out of it. And it looks actually pretty good. Now, these look really, really small, don't they? But keep in mind that when you boil this dough, it's going to expand a bit. So you want to put as much filling in as possible, and then you keep going. So this is how you fill a potato and cheese pierogi. And then I'm going to show you afterwards how you cook them, according to my tradition. Other people normally just boil them, and that's about all they do, but I think there's a way to add a lot much flavor to them. So the next thing I'm going to show you is how to fill the dessert pierogies, and then I'll show you how to fill the cottage cheese pierogies.